Hello, friends. Welcome to Ask Alicia Anything. This is episode 7, I think. And I'm glad you're here. So thanks for tuning in. So we have 3 questions today. So I'll jump right in. It's like really snowy and gross here, so I'm just trying to stay warm and have a little fun in the meantime. But Jody is our first question for today, and she asks, how do you choose the names of your characters? That is actually one of my favorite parts of creating a novel, is choosing the names. I like get on the little baby name search sites and stuff. I do that in order to find just the right name for certain characters. I sometimes don't. Sometimes they'll start out named something different, just a random name like Chad, for example, and then they end up named something else later. So that is definitely a process, I guess. But oftentimes I like to look at the meaning of the name, like in antiquity, what did it mean? And that often gives me some ideas into whether or not that's a good name for that particular character. Trying to think of a good example. The one I'm working on right now, the woman's, she's a therapist, and the woman in it is named Rebecca. And when I looked that up, I realized it means moderator, which I thought was actually really cool for a character who happens to have the job of a therapist. So I do that. And I just kind of play with it and see what feels right. The characters usually come first for me. So once I feel like I know the character well enough, then I can usually dive into the naming aspect of it. So I hope that answers your question. So thank you, Jody. Thank you for that question. Crystal has kind of a related question. She says, how do you choose your characters, heroes, and heroines? So I don't know exactly what you mean by this, Crystal, but I'm going to work under the assumption that you mean like, how do I choose which characters get center stage, right? And that is hard. And in my books, you'll notice that I often have 2 points of view. They all have 2 points of view. You'll get first person point of view, usually from the heroine, her point of view. And then I usually use third person, or I have in the past used third person for the hero's point of view. And I like doing that because I think it gives the reader insight into both of their kind of mental place, where they're coming from. And I like that. I like it as a reader, and I enjoy writing it that way as a writer. It helps me also, first person helps me connect more to a character. So even if I may start out writing something first person and then go back and change it into third, even if it's a male character, just so I can dig a little deeper into what they're thinking and feeling at the time for a particular scene, if that makes sense. As for how I choose like the bad guy, bad guys kind of develop, like the villains develop along the way. And sometimes at the beginning of a project, I don't know who the bad guy is until I get farther along. And that's part of the exciting part of writing for me, is that discovery. And recently I've realized you can't rush that. I've tried to do some plotting for this next project, and it's not going well. I'll be upfront and honest with you, because I think I'm trying to push it. So I'm going to take a step back and take some time and see what develops. But that's part of the creative process, I think. It has nothing to do with your question. So I apologize for that, Crystal. But I do hope I answered your question about how I choose my heroes and heroines. And I have one more question today. This is an important one. This one's from Ryan. And Ryan asks, who inspired you to start writing? This is actually harder to answer than you might think. I had a lot of teachers growing up that kind of would say nice things to me about my writing and kind of encouraged me to explore that a little bit. So I think that definitely helped along the way. I think it helps when you have people that tell you you're good at something. And too often, I think we're told that we're not good at things. And we're led down paths because of things we aren't good at, instead of looking for and building those, I don't know, that feeling inside that makes you know you're good at something. So, so I had some teachers along the way that did that for me, that boosted me up and gave me a little confidence that I was a decent writer. And then, but I didn't actually pursue it as a career or a possible career until just about 12 years ago. So, and that happened because of my grandmother. And I was kind of mourning the loss of her. She hadn't passed yet at that time, but she struggled with some dementia at the end of her life. And so I think I was grieving the loss of her in that way. And so I needed an outlet. And the one thing that really helped me and kind of let me process through some things that I was dealing with at the time was writing. And at the beginning, it wasn't to show anyone. I wasn't going to show anyone any of this. Like, it was literally a journal that I just opened up one day and started writing. And these characters sort of came to me and kind of jumped out onto the page, for lack of a better explanation. And so I like to think she inspired me. Yeah, I think she inspired me a great deal to pursue this as a possible career. And even if it doesn't end up as like a full-time career, I think I've put something out there that people have or are enjoying and that I should be proud of. And I think that, Ryan, is the most important thing. Whatever you do, you should be proud of it. Take pride in it. And so if you can find something that helps you feel that confidence and feel good about yourself and that you take pride in doing, then that is a good path, I think. So yeah, who inspired me to start writing? I guess I would say my grandmother, but I had a lot of people along the way that boosted me. So the list is very long. It's crazy, I know. But that's it for today. We only had 3 questions today. Keep asking questions. I enjoy answering them. And I will see you next time. And I hope everyone is hunkered down, ready for this big snowstorm that we're supposed to get. Or probably by the time you watch this, we'll be in the midst of. I don't know. So stay safe, everyone, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.